Today we are watching episodes 7 and 8 of House of the Dragon. We're getting closer to the very end of this first season, and things are kind of settling into themselves for the first time, I feel, since the series has started. And what I mean by that is, for the first time in the series, I feel very, very clueless about where we're going to go from here. I feel like a lot of the episodes so far have been left us off thinking, oh my god, so in the next episode or the next couple episodes, it's going to follow this, and it's going to follow this, and then this. But with where we're at right now, I have no idea where these last 4 episodes are going to take us. I have no idea who we're going to be focusing on. I have no idea if we're going to do another crazy time jump and meet some new actors along the way. I have no idea if Viserys is actually immortal and just not telling us. I guess the last episode felt like an ending of sorts in a lot of ways, which is part of the reason why I'm probably wondering and feeling like, okay, where are we going to go from here? Because Daemon's wife, killed herself and her unborn child because of birthing complications, and so she is no longer with us, and now Daemon is left with his 2 daughters that he has. I'm very curious about Baela. I would say if any of the characters are going to take off in their own storyline from here, I would think that Baela is one of them. Rhaenyra has officially left King's Landing with her husband and their children and her husband's lover. So yeah, Rhaenyra is kind of leaving behind all of the royal drama. A drama is a very small word to describe what's happening in this show. I just mean like the chaos that goes on in King's Landing. She's over it. She's over trying to climb the ladder, and she is going off to Dragonstone, right? And I feel like in this episode, or the episodes coming up, Rhaenyra and Daemon are going to end up finding each other again. And the reason I think that is because they both are in very similar headspaces right now. I feel like they both are closing a chapter on their own lives and trying to forge a new one. And I also feel like they both have kind of lost the spark that they used to have in their eyes 10 years ago. And I think that if this show goes in the direction of them trying to get back into the midst of things and take back the crown and try to get a leg in the door, a foot in the door again, I feel like if they want to do that, they're going to have to do it together. Because they're just coming from similar backgrounds, and I feel like their personalities are pretty similar to each other. So I don't know, I could see them working together in some way politically. I feel like we've not really officially ever seen that before, but now that they're, now that Rhaenyra is more grown up, I could see her being able to keep up with Daemon on a political level. Also, the last big event that just happened is we no longer have a Hand of the King, thanks to Lionel. Not Lionel. I think Lionel was Larys. Lionel was the name of the Hand of the King, and Larys is his son. And Larys decided to take Alicent's wishes and renting out of context, and decided to go and kill his brother and his father. Which his brother was messing around with Rhaenyra behind the scenes and is the father of her children. Yeah, he killed his brother and his father, and now he seems to think that Queen Alicent owes him some sort of debt because he followed through with her request, which wasn't really a request. She never said she wanted them killed, but now we're going to see who the new Hand of the King is, and I hope it's not Otto. That's all I'm going to say.
Your little cousins who lost their mother could use a kind word.
I have an equal claim to sympathy.
Jace.
She's been harrowing mourning Lord Laenor and Sahara.
It would not be appropriate.
She's our sister.
You marry her then.
I would perform my duty, if Mother had only betrothed us.
If only.
It would strengthen the family, keep our Valyrian blood pure.
The Lord of the Tides rules the sea.
Sorry, I don't want to. If I'm the Lord of Driftmark, it means everyone's dead.
There's a place for you in my court. That's something you should need.
I need nothing.
I'm going to bed, Emma. No, Sir Harold.
You have the Night's Watch, Sir Kristen.
And it's been so long since Emma's death. He's starting to get, like, dementia.
I want Driftmark to pass through Laenor's line to Baela.
Yeah.
It's true Valyrian blood. Rhaenyra's children are not of your blood, but Laenor's are.
History does not remember blood. It remembers names.
We did try to conceive a child. We performed our duty as best we could. There was no joy in it. You abandoned me.
I spared you.
Yes, I was a child. And look at what my life became without you. Droll tragedy.
Go on, I wonder what you think of mine by comparison.
I know little of it. Did you love her?
We were happy enough.
Well, that in itself is a great achievement.
Sadly. You know, the thing is, I honestly feel like like they would go well together, but am I supposed to just look past the fact that this is a niece and her uncle? Are we really supposed to look past that? I understand this is like the Targaryens are all into incest, and this show in general plays with it a bit because it's a different time, it's a different universe, blah blah blah. But I you know, and it's not even like they can make it's not like they can marry each other, like even if they did do that, like this is just physical, which makes it weirder. But like they can't get married because she's married. So they can't even do like a power move political play thing together in that way. Unless something happens to Laenor. It's so dark. Is that Aegon or Aemond? That's Aemond, the second son. Because he doesn't have a dragon. Whose dragon is that? I'm scared. Oh. Boy, what do you think you're doing? I thought he just wanted to pet it. I thought he just like loved dragons and was sad he didn't get to be around his own, so he wanted to pet this one. You're not about to ride off on this dragon right now. Oh. Man, those are coming in like bullets.
Vega is my mother's dragon.
Your mother's dead. Vega has a new rider now.
She was mine to claim.
Then you should have claimed her. Maybe your cousins can find you a pig to ride.
Oh my god.
Come at me again and I'll feed you to my dragon.
Cease this at once!
Gods be good.
His eye is missing.
How could you allow such a thing to happen?
The legitimacy of my son's birth was put loudly to question.
What?
Called us bastards.
My sons are in line to inherit the Iron Throne, Your Grace.
My son has lost an eye.
Who spoke these lies to you?
It was Aegon.
We know, Father. Everyone knows. Just look at them.
I shall have one of her son's eyes in return.
Are you joking?
If the king will not seek justice, the queen will. Sir Criston, bring me the eye of Lucerys Velaryon.
Alicent, this matter is finished.
Anyone whose tongue dares to question the birth of Princess Rhaenyra's sons should have it removed.
No.
Stay with the king! Hold your ground! Do not suppress them! Let her go!
Where is duty? Where is sacrifice? It's trampled under your pretty foot again.
Release the blade, Alicent.
And now you take my son's eye. And even that you feel entitled.
Exhausting, wasn't it? Hiding beneath the cloak of your own righteousness. But now they see you as you are.
I may have lost an eye, but I gained a dragon.
The hand, Your Grace.
Yeah, Otto being hand, I'm not surprised.
I've disgraced myself. and ensured my husband's favour will forever rest on her.
I've never seen that side of you, my daughter.
Is he like a proud
I
dad?
even doubted its existence. And now, for the first time, I see that you have the determination to win it.
Jesus, he's got issues. Yeah, where have you been?
Cards. Is everyone all right?
Broken nose is the worst.
I should have been there.
There should be our house words.
We made an arrangement all those years ago to do our duty and yet explore happiness. But there are times, I think, when these things cannot mutually exist.
Yeah.
So Carl will return soon to the fighting in the Stepstones.
Oh.
But I recommit myself to you.
Oh. Little Laris always creeping in the back.
If it's not I want to balance the scales, I am your servant.
Oh my god. Get out of here.
The day will doubtless come when I require such a friend. With not only skill, but discretion as well.
She's gonna go straight for Rhaenyra.
Ilbur anogri ilo letago. Hai aigot errenisi humendima hydroma.
Okay. Does that mean though?
Nihis velzuris.
Oh.
Belnura umaistarome.
Okay, what about Laenor? He just said he's dropping everything for you. Also, does divorce exist in this world?
We could not marry unless Laenor were dead.
I know.
Okay. No, can't
What
you?
about your exploits in the Stepstones, Sir Carl? Said to be a knight of remarkable skill. There are places across the narrow sea where it doesn't matter what a man's name is, only how much gold he possesses.
Okay. So
What are you asking of me, my lord?
are they gonna fake the deaths of?
A quick death. One with witnesses.
I was gonna say, don't actually kill him. You can fake Carl and Laenor's deaths and then send him off to hide in hiding.
Set him free.
You forget yourself.
They're gonna actually kill him? That's not Laenor, right? Is it obvious? Am I dumb? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's it. Okay, so, okay. Hold on. So, I like Laenor, and I swear to God, if he gets found out and is killed and something goes down, I'm gonna be sad. I wanted him to go live his life with Carl and be happy. Well, Driftmark was quite eventful. We got a lot of action with the kids this episode. Obviously with Prince Aemond deciding to just take Laena's dragon for himself. Vhagar, Laena's dragon for himself. You know, I can understand why he did that. I feel like, I don't agree, you know, there are better ways you could have gone about that. I doubt that he would have gotten the dragon, though, if he didn't steal it. You know, it would have gone down to one of the daughters. It probably would have gone to Bela, right? Because she doesn't have a dragon. I'd be angry if I was Bela. Oh my god. But as far as Prince Aemond feeling the need to do that, you know, when you are a Targaryen and you are in the environment, growing up in the environment that he is growing up, with the family that he is growing up with, and people are constantly mocking you for not having a dragon, I am not surprised that he went to the greatest limits of what he could do to get himself a dragon. I am not surprised that he doesn't regret losing an eye over it. You know, with the expectations on his shoulders, I'm just not surprised. And it's kind of sad. It's like, I can't even be angry with him, really, for what he did, because he's a child and because of how he's grown up and who he's grown up around and all of that. Like, it's just kind of sad. And then Bela and Rhaena, right? Those are the two girls, Daemon's girls. And Jace and Lucerys, very noble of them to want to stand up and fight for what they believe is right, but obviously they went a little far. Although, with how Aemond was fighting too, I feel like someone was going to lose an eye at the end of the day, you know. it was pretty intense both ways. So yeah, Lucerys, I'm surprised he did that, because he literally looks like he's like 6 years old to me. It's just a lot of intense things to be happening when you're at that age. Like, that is the trauma that these kids are gonna have when they get older. And I'm just so curious too, because we're getting to see the dynamic of the relationships between all of the kids now at such a young age. I'm very interested, hopefully, in being able to eventually see how they fall into place and act with each other as adults. Aegon is there. Aegon is a little, I don't know. He clearly doesn't care about the crown. He doesn't care about anything. And for some reason, I feel like Aemond is going to somehow end up getting the crown before Aegon ever does. And then there's Helena. We only got like one glimpse of Helena in this episode, and she was like playing with a little spider and saying what sounded like incantations, I think. I don't know, Helena's off in her own little world, and then so is, I guess, Aegon, and then Aemond is the only one who's like focused on trying to be powerful. I think he has middle kid syndrome. He feels overlooked, and so he kind of compensates and is like trying to prove himself. I also just want to say, I feel like in this episode we hit a climax of Rhaenyra, well, maybe not, but of Rhaenyra and Alicent's relationship, and I just want to like praise the show for, I like the pacing of the show when it comes to their relationship. It was really cool to see them start off as friends and then see their journey of where they've ended up now to the point. Because if you told me in like episode 1 Alicent was going to stab Rhaenyra, although it was like technically by accident, she was trying to gouge her son's eye out. If you told me Alicent was going to try to gouge Rhaenyra's future little baby son, he's not a baby, but you know what I mean, his eye out, I would have been like, huh? I don't believe you. So it's just crazy. But I also am not surprised when it happened in the moment. It didn't take me back. So it's like they paid really good attention to how they wanted to unravel the destruction of Alicent and Rhaenyra's relationship with each other. And I really appreciate the time that was taken to display that. This episode sparked a lot of new thoughts for me. You know how there's sometimes transitional episodes and you can feel that it's a transitional episode and you're like, okay, this is clearly just setting up for later stuff. And then sometimes there's the intense action episodes where like so much goes down and you're like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Usually it's one or the other. With this one, it felt like they were both. So this was wild. No, but also as far as Daemon and Rhaenyra's marriage, I don't know if I can get behind an uncle and a niece. I can't. I can't. But this is a different world. It's happened, and I feel like I'm going to have to get over it a little bit. So let's go to the next episode.
The greater concern is the fever that followed. Ship's maester said it burns from within.
Whoa. Corlys is dead?
The ravens came in from...
Evenfall, Princess.
We may greet his ship to find him gone. And who will take the driftwood throne?
My grandmother seems quite comfortable here.
The sea passes.
To Lucerys Velaryon, as is my lord husband's desire.
I am the sea snake's own blood.
Ugh.
The closest king.
See, there's
he
always
has
a brother.
But what of the Velaryon line? Is it to be snuffed out? Supplanted by the pups of House Strong?
And she agrees. She mentioned this to Corlys in the last episode.
But it's not a king who sits the Iron Throne these days, good sister. It's a queen.
Yeah, Alicent's running the show. God, 6 years. I can't even imagine what we're about to see now. What has been going on? The Grinch? Oh. Okay. Who is it? Oh. Is it for their kids? Do they have kids now?
I don't expect you to learn High Valyrian in a day, Jace.
A king should honor the traditions of his forebears.
Well,
that's nice.
He means to call into question Luke's legitimacy. And by extension, Jace, and by extension, my own claim to the throne.
Has he made common cause with Otto Hightower yet?
This is what I fear. Rhaenys flames a cord.
To King's Landing, then.
Royal Consort, Prince Daemon Targaryen.
It's like a wasteland.
It's about the prince. There's been a delicate situation in his apartments.
Aegon. You're kidding. How is he still breathing?
Who goes there?
Father.
Help me up.
You can get up?
Oh.
I don't know if you can. He's got to be breaking a record for oldest king of all time.
You are to affirm your position for Lucerys, to be Corlys Velarion's successor.
This is Aegon.
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 And this is Viserys.
Oh.
What? What is it?
I asked him to stop, Your Grace. Truly, you must believe me.
Oh my God.
I wouldn't dream of breathing another word to anyone, Your Grace. This is all my life.
I know you won't. What is it? What is it? That's all you can say for yourself.
Something happened.
Diana.
Oh, it was just harmless fun. She didn't need to go get upset about it.
Try so hard, but it will never be enough for you or father.
So you have to rape girls to feel better?
It is they who keep him addled on milk of the poppy while the High Towers warm his throne.
Rhaenyra, if you would see him without it, almost blind with suffering, but be assured the Father is just and commands me to forget the accusations you have held in this room today.
I don't give a shit about Tawnies. Nephews? Have you come to train?
Oh my God. Why is he holding his mouth like that? He's creepy. Oh boy.
The next Lord of the Tides will be deeply in your debt, Your Grace. As will Driftmark.
Back Luke's claim, and let us betroth Laenor's children to mine. Baela will be Queen of the Seven Kingdoms.
A generous offer. Or a desperate one.
What does it matter?
Tomorrow the High Towers land their first blow. They force you to your knees. And I must stand alone.
I thought I wanted it. But the burden is a heavy one. If you wish me to bear it, then defend me. And my children.
I want to have supper, Otto. The whole of my family
Oh boy.
are gathered at the Red Keep.
Oh God.
I want us to dine together.
I have spent my entire life on Driftmark defending my brother's seat. I am Lord Corlys' closest kin, his own blood.
If you cared so much about your house's blood, Sir Vaymond, you would not be so bold as to supplant its rightful heir. No, you only speak for yourself.
What do you know of Velaryon blood, Princess? I could cut my veins and show it to you. I humbly put myself before you as my brother's successor.
If I am to grace this farce with some answer, I will start by reminding the court that nearly
Oh my
20
God.
years
Who is
ago
it?
in
Is it
this
her
very-
father? Is it? Oh my God.
Lord of the Seven Kingdoms and protector of the realm.
Someone help him down those steps. Wow. No need, I guess. Why do I want to cry? Oh.
The only one present who might offer keener insight into Lord Corlys's wishes is the Princess Rhaenys.
It was ever my husband's will that Driftmark pass through Sir Laenor to his true-born son, Lucerys Velaryon. As a matter of fact, the Princess Rhaenyra has just informed me of her desire to marry her sons Jace and Luke to Lord Corlys's granddaughters, Baela and Rhaena. A proposal to which I heartily agree.
Okay.
You break law.
Oh God.
That is no true Velaryon.
Oh, he's gonna be killed now.
Certainly. No nephew of mine.
You're about to die.
Chambers, you have said enough.
Oh no, he's gonna have his tongue cut out. Didn't he say?
Her children.
Bastards!
She is a whore.
Well, have your tongue for that.
He can keep his tongue.
Dear God, I don't think I'm ready. I don't think anything can prepare me for this dinner party. I love how far away they are from each other. I know that's how they're supposed to be, but it's just funny to see on the screen.
The faces, most dear to me in all the world, yet grown so distant from each other. And years past.
What?
The crown cannot stand strong if the house of the dragon remains divided. But set aside your grievances, if not for the sake of the crown, and for the sake of this old man.
I wish to raise my cup to Her Grace the Queen. I must admit that no one has stood more loyally by his side than his good wife. Unfailing devotion, love, and honor. And for that, she has my gratitude.
Okay, Allison, it's your turn to say something nice.
I raise my cup to you and to your house.
Oh. This is not at all how I expected this dinner to go. I thought we were going to see bloodshed, tears, backstabbing. He's gonna die now, isn't he? Now that he's seen everyone get along and be happy for a second, is he gonna let go? And that's how this one's gonna end, is Viserys dying. Why is he like that? Oh my god.
To the health of my nephews. Each of them handsome, wise, strong.
Raymond.
Come. Do you not think yourself strong? I was merely expressing how proud I am of my family, Mother. Though it seems my nephews aren't quite as proud of theirs.
Wait! Wait!
He makes little grunty hum noises just like Daemon does.
Rhaenyra, it's best, I think, if we go back to Dragonstone.
It's been quite a night at the castle, Sims. Yes, lady.
What do you want it to do? If I believe it to be true.
Believe what to be true, my king?
Oh, don't you remember? The prince.
Prince Aegon.
To unite the realm. It is you. You are the one. Oh, no more. Oh, my love.
So that was definitely death, right? Because if he pops up in the next episode. Oh man. Aegon and Aemond are something else. Jesus. See, I knew we couldn't get through that dinner with it just being a nice little family reunion. And I shouldn't be surprised that it was Aemond who decided to turn it into something else. Aemond freaks me out. I don't know if it's just the actor and the way he portrays the role, but like, Aemond just scares me. Aegon is disgusting. I do like Jason Luke. I mean, Rhaenyra, arranged marriages just are never that great. Like, usually it's like, oh, come on, like, why don't we marry for love? You know, that's the modern way. So I always feel kind of sad when arranged marriages happen in shows. I'm like, oh. But Jace and Luke and Rhaena and Bela all seem pretty pleased about the arrangement, so I guess that's nice. Princess Rhaenys is a very interesting character. I'm not sure exactly what to make of her. She seems very mysterious to me. I don't know if I'm not picking up on anything that should make me think otherwise, but yeah, she seemed pretty loyal to Corlys, her husband, but also spoke her mind freely. It's very interesting that she doesn't feel any resentment toward not getting the crown and Viserys taking the crown way back in the day when Viserys became king. I feel like that's really admirable and rare in this show, in this world. Yeah, she stuck with what Corlys wanted, with Jace being there, and happily took, not happily, I don't know if happily is the right word, but took Rhaenyra's offer about her sons and the granddaughters of Rhaenys, and yeah, she took that offer and presented it to the king, which you wouldn't know based on how she was talking to Rhaenyra in the courtyard or wherever they were when Rhaenyra made the proposition to her. She played very coy and didn't really bow down ever to any arrangement offer. But then, yeah, so then it was kind of surprising when she went with it later on. But I kind of like that about her. She's very interesting. I don't know. I feel like there's a lot that's being unsaid about her, and I feel like there's a lot that, if they choose to focus on her going forward, that her character could give us in an arc of some sort. But I'm also just not sure if her character has much to give. I'm not sure what would happen with her, but I guess what I'm saying is her character really intrigues me, and I would love to see more of her, but I'm also not sure with everything else going on if there's room for her to create some sort of arc of her own. So, but we'll see. I'm not sure what Alicent is taking away from what Viserys just told her, because she kept on thinking that he was talking about Aegon, their son. I'm not sure if she connected the dots that Rhaenyra was in there and he's talking about something completely different. And he was saying that Rhaenyra... Wait. Okay, maybe I need some help with this one, some clearing up. I don't know. Who did Viserys think he was talking to in that moment at the end of the show? Who did he think he was talking to when Rhaenyra was asking him about Aegon in the dream? He seemed really out of it when Rhaenyra was talking to him, but then obviously... Who am I kidding? He seemed out of it for a very long time. And then when Alicent was talking to him, he seemed to think that Alicent was the one who spoke to him earlier. And he was like, no, remember? I think he realized it was Alicent there at the end of the show. Unless he thought it was Rhaenyra. I don't know. I can't figure out his mind. I don't know what he's thinking. Because I want to know what he meant by the prince, who's promised or something like that. It's you. Was he talking about I thought he was talking about Rhaenyra being the prince promised, even though, she's a princess or whatever. I'm not surprised by how Aemond has turned out. I'm not surprised by how Aegon has turned out. Helena seems pretty chill somehow. She kind of just seems to be in her own world all the time. Pretty happy-go-lucky for growing up in such circumstances. It was frustrating to see what happened to Diana with Aegon and Alicent having to, she doesn't have to, but covering that up because she felt that she had no other choice, or no better choice, I should say. And now, obviously, it was nice to see them say some kind words to each other at the dinner. It did feel kind of genuine from both sides. Not obviously, I'm talking about Rhaenyra and Alicent. It felt kind of genuine, and I just can't tell if that's going to stick. Now that I think Viserys is actually dead now. I don't know. I'm kind of just anxious to see how these last two play out, and then I'm going to be annoyed when we have to wait. I've never had to wait before. When I watched Game of Thrones, I binged, in a couple months I was able to get through all the seasons because I didn't start watching till after the last season was out. So it's going to be weird having to wait between seasons for this. The illegitimacy of Rhaenyra's children seems to become bigger and bigger of a presence in each episode as each episode goes on. So I'm kind of wondering why that is, just from a storytelling standpoint. I feel like that is going to come to a head somehow. The fact that they're illegitimate is going to come to a major head when it's time to discuss who the true heir is and who's going to take over as king and so on. Yeah, because that is just to come, and it just doesn't, no one lets it go, and everyone seems to be aware of the fact that they're illegitimate. Such a hard word. Illegitimate. I want to see more Rhaenys. I want to see more Baela. I want to see more Helena. I want to see less Aegon. I want to see less Aemond. Actually, I don't want to see... I do actually want to see less Aegon. I can do without him. While I am scared of Aemond, I'm very curious about his story arc as well. He's probably up there too, with like which characters I'm most invested in and seeing where their character goes from here. I would say I'm intrigued by Rhaenys, as I said. If her character goes anywhere, I'm very intrigued by Aemond and where his character arc is going to take him. And then Bela, those three, I'm like most on the edge of my seat for. So we'll see if any of them really get the screen time. I feel like they might. So we'll see if any of them turn out to be major players in this game. But as far as predictions, now that next time I see you on one of these videos, it's going to be me watching episodes 9 and 10, the end of the season. So as far as final predictions of what I think is going to happen, I think Rhaenyra is going to end up taking over the throne. To me, it's just a matter of how long that lasts, because Larys, I think that's his name, Lord Larys, he is still in the back of my mind, and his creepy devotion to Alicent, I don't think that's going to go away when she is no longer queen. I do think that that's going to come back, and while Rhaenyra may end up on the throne for a certain time, Larys and Alicent are going to somehow bring her down. But then who will take over? I just don't want it to be Aegon. I really hope that in these next 2 episodes, we see all of that. Yeah, I really want them to wrap that up as far as who ends up on the Iron Throne next by the end of this season. Like, I don't want that to be a cliffhanger. I want the season to end with us seeing who's taking over the Iron Throne, not just for a second, if it ends up being a second for the next person, but who is next to really take the Iron Throne and stay there and looks like they're going to be there for a while. You know, I want that all to play out and come to an end within this season. So fingers crossed. But yeah, so I'm nervous to see what happens in those last 2 episodes, and I'm going to be a nervous wreck in the next video when it's time to finally watch them. So wish me luck.